9:45 p.m. And there we go. There's a nice feeling that goes with being able to hand wash dishes all by oneself, especially for my love. With both teacups properly cleaned, I place them on the dish rack in front of me, facing upside down. I hope Hallie won't mind.
No!
It's a wonder I didn't drop our teacups because of that. That sounded like it came from where Hallie's at, especially since it was his voice.
As I move from the kitchen to join...
As I move from the kitchen to join Hallie, I'm abruptly halted by the scene before me. Hallie, standing by the couch in the living room, with his head against the wall. Oh no.
I'm sorry!
The sound of his head hitting the wall shakes the house just as the thunder did earlier. I instinctively look away at the sight, but quickly return my attention to him. I can't allow him to do this to himself. I make my way over to him and firmly grip his shoulders. Hallie, what's going on? He falls to the floor, his hands covering his face. My heart aches as this episode intensifies, and he starts rolling around on the floor. The sounds of his sobs only fuel my worry.
I'm sorry!
What could be so devastating to prevent him from answering me? Scanning around him, I see a piece of paper on the ground. Succumbing to my curiosity, I reach down to grab it and take a look. It looks like a letter of some kind. He did pick up the mail a while ago. Dear Hallie, we're sorry to inform you. His parents? What about them? What? Car crash? Overcome with sadness, I interrupt Hallie's breakdown, pulling him into a tight embrace. He undoubtedly needs me more than ever right now. Hallie, it's okay. It's gonna be okay, sweetie.
No!
His tone of voice pierces my ears as he manages to push me away from him. Tears stream down his face, just like yesterday with the tea incident.
I can't do this!
He gets up from the floor, and I watch, immobilized by confusion as he walks towards his kitchen. What's he doing? As I get up from the floor, I see him opening one of the drawers. My gaze bolts upward at the sight of him pulling out a rather large kitchen knife.
I can't do this anymore.
Panic overrides everything as he turns the blade on himself, pointed towards his heart. No! My life seems to flash before my eyes as I frantically rush over to stop him. Once I'm in front of him, I forcefully grab where the blade meets the handle and try to yank it out of his hands with all of my strength. An all too familiar stinging spreads across my fingers as a result. He resists as the knife inches closer towards him. Emotions raging inside me at the sight, my other hand grabs the handle as I pull with everything I have. This deadly tug-of-war comes to an end as the knife escapes his grip, but this sends me tumbling back and him forwards. I'm immobilized by a sudden rush of pain as my back hits the floor and a loud metal clang is heard behind me. Once my sight returns to normal and I'm on my knees, the knife weight is nowhere to be seen.
No.
Looking over to Hallie shows him face down on the floor, trying to take a hold of the cupboard handle. Watching him grip the handle tightly, I shut my eyes as he forcefully brings the door towards his head. Hallie screams in agonizing pain as he lays with his head down on the floor. His crying has become more intense, which is tearing me apart inside. I can't let him keep hurting himself like this. Slowly knee crawling over to him, I use all my strength to lift him up and embrace him yet again, even tighter this time. He doesn't resist. Instead, he gets up on his knees as his head collides with my shoulder. All I can do is have my fingers gently comb through his hair as he cries into my shoulder. Shh, it's okay, darling. I'm so sorry this had to happen, love. A single tear sheds at the thought that I almost lost my hero tonight. Emotions build up inside me as he hits his forehead against my shoulder multiple times.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Him nearly screaming into my ear makes my emotions inside tremble. Babe, no, don't be sorry.
Mama.
It's okay, love. I'm right here. Tears escape my eyes and fall down to his shoulder. My voice breaks as all I can do is whisper into his ear. I love you so much, Hallie. It'll be okay. This is unbearable. I No one should have to endure this, but certainly not my knight. He fights so hard every day to protect me, to make me happy, even save me if he has to. As his tears continue to fall, I steel myself. It's my turn to come to his rescue. As we're both quieting down, the stinging in my fingers seems to fade away, and I'm feeling exhausted, physically and emotionally. He's probably feeling the same. I lean forward to whisper into his ear again. Hallie, let's go to bed now. He doesn't respond. He just rests his head on my shoulder and sniffles a few times, his grip on me loosening a bit. It's okay, Hallie. I know what to do. My right arm holding the embrace, I bring my left arm around and under Hallie's knees. I secure my grip on him and use all my energy to lift him off the ground. He's heavier than he looks, but I can manage. I must, for him. Both his arms wrap around my neck, and he rests his head on my shoulder again. Once we're inside and his door is shut, I walk over to his bed and gently sit him down on his left side, remembering his preference. He doesn't resist at all. Instead, he manages to make himself comfy under the blanket. I then turn off the light switch by his door and take off my white overshirt for the night. Carefully approaching my side of his bed, I pull the blanket away and slide in to make myself comfortable next to him. Not long after, he turns to face me, pulls me close and rests his face right in my chest. His grip on me is just as tight as before and provides me with just as much comfort. I'm glad I can be there for him at a time when he needs me the most. He's calmed down a bit, now, and his cheeks are tear-stained, but his grip is still strong. It's as though he's clinging on to me for dear life.
I'm sorry. I don't want to lose you too.
I bring my head down to softly speak to him. You won't lose me. I'm not going anywhere, love. His fears seem to reignite. If they cease up, sleep may elude him, for now. I wonder. Mom, the song you used to sing to me when I was younger. I think I still remember how it goes. He isn't clinging to me nearly as hard as earlier. I think he's asleep now. I can't help but feel remorse for him, having to lose two of the most important people in his life. My parents aren't around when I need them, and it can be overwhelming at times. I don't dare imagine how he's feeling. I'll always be here for him now that they can't. I'll do anything to keep my love out of harm's way. Anything. I take one of my hands away from his back, place it comfortably in his hair, and bring my face towards his until our noses lightly touch. I can feel my overall heartbeat going down slightly. It warms my heart at the idea of being a mother figure in someone's life. Maybe he's right. Maybe I would make a good mother. That letter of his that's still in my bag and what it said. I want that to be us someday. This is all I really wanted in life, to help and protect the one I cherish the most. To hold him and be his guardian standing strong. This is just like our poems we wrote for the festival. I continue to look directly into his already closed eyes and watch his chest move up and down in tandem with the soft breathing coming from him. He's always looked so peaceful when he sleeps, and he doesn't snore at all. I love that about him. Then, I inch forward to kiss his forehead and whisper into his ear. Brick by brick, darling. Carefully laying my head down on one of his pillows and closing my eyes, the sound of Hallie's breathing is the essence that brings me into dreamland. We shall greet the morning together, and I'm going to make sure there's a morning to greet on.
Chapter 12, Soul Poetry. Sunday, October 17th, 4 p.m.
The rain from yesterday hasn't let up at all. Granted, it's a light rainfall. Hallie hasn't left his bed ever since I carried him upstairs last night. Not even to use the restroom, as far as I can tell. He was still asleep when I woke up and made breakfast, and he hasn't spoken a word, despite being awake for a few hours. It pains me to see him like this. I miss the old him. This house seems lonely without his enthusiastic attitude, the bright smile on his face, his mesmerizing orange eyes. I haven't done much today except for lounge on the couch and occasionally see how he's doing. Every time I tried speaking to him, he wouldn't respond or even look over to me. He didn't even touch the breakfast I made for him. I don't dare imagine what's going through his mind. The sound of rain crashing against the house, this eerie, almost lonely feeling I have. It almost reminds me of the first poem I showed Hallie more than a week ago. Maybe I should go check up on how he's doing. Wait, was that... Making sure to remain absolutely silent, I put all my focus into hearing what's going to happen next. He's finally up and around. Carefully making my approach to him, there's an uncomfortable silence between us as he doesn't make eye contact. This isn't any easier even if he's in front of me. His cheeks are less tear-stained, but he looks void of any emotion. Hey, love. How are you feeling? After a few seconds of silence, he walks up to me and gently rests his forehead on my left shoulder. The warmth he's bringing to me causes me to place an arm around his back and to the back of his head in response. Carefully running my fingers through his hair, I bring the side of my head to meet his and quietly sigh to myself. He's not crying this time, which is a relief, but I can only imagine what's going through his mind right now. Is there anything I'd like to do today? No, I don't want to see he like this all day. Oh God, what a time for a typo. There's got to be something him and I could do today. Looking around the house in search of anything that could take his mind off this, I spot a VCR right below his TV. I haven't seen one of those since I was a kid. I wonder if it still works. Maybe this will help? Hey, Hallie, how does a movie sound? I can only guess that means yes. Come on, follow me. As he reluctantly removes his forehead from my shoulder, my arm that's around his back moves up to his shoulders as we both walk over to the couch. Once he's made his way back to the made his way to the couch, I walk over to the TV and see the selection of VHS tapes in front of me. Taking my index finger and running them across the various tapes in front of me, my finger stops on one with a dark blue, almost black-colored cover. It has 5 different girls on it and a black silhouette of a man on the front, and it's called Fruits. Maybe he'll like this one. Pulling the tape out of the stack of them, I can't help but notice the weight it has to it. Goodness, it's been so long since I last held one of these. It's almost like I'm holding a black plastic book. With the tape in my grasp, I turn around and show it to Hallie. How does this one sound? He solemnly looks over to me for a second or two, then back to the floor. My attempt at a smile is starting to go away. I really hope he doesn't stay like this forever. Besides, don't we have school tomorrow? Taking the tape out of its cover and putting it in the VCR, the play button on the VCR immediately lights up a neon green color. Once the TV screen changes to whatever is on the tape before the movie begins, I get up from the floor and onto the couch, right next to Hallie. Once I'm nice and close to him, he sets his head on my shoulder again, this time so that we can both see the TV. After about a minute of boring ads and whatnot, an idea comes to mind I'm sure Hallie would enjoy. Hey, how about I order a pizza for the 2 of us? Hallie, come on. Have you eaten anything all day? He shakes his head at me, his expression still looking completely defeated. Don't worry, I'll pay for everything.
Okay.
Then it's settled. It's nice to hear his voice again. Reaching over to my bag that's also on the couch, I pull out my phone and search online for the closest delivery place.
A few hours later. No matter what I say, nothing is going to mend these girls' broken hearts. Especially hers. The only real thing I can do is...
The boy then approaches the girl and opens his arms as she responds and clings onto him for dear life. While that's happening, Hallie's grip on my arm tightens.
I don't remember this. Being this sad. I'm so sorry for this. I wish I didn't have to leave.
You didn't have a choice. I don't blame you for this, nor will I ever.
Me neither. It's been so long since I've last watched this.
I only ask that you take care of yourself, okay?
I promise.
Do you think they'll have a happy ending? I just wanted to let you all know that I really enjoyed my time here with you.
I really hope so.
You are an influence on us all, and I think you've done more for us than anyone else ever will.
I have to be going now. Goodbye, everyone.
Oh, why did he have to say that word? Looking over to Hallie shows him closing his eyes with a similar look from hours ago. Why do I have a bad feeling about something? The screen fades to black, and all that can be heard is the voice from the TV.
And so, once I was on the flight out of the city, I tried to look past everything I was leaving behind. Whether or not I return, Lord only knows. I will take on whatever life throws at me with the image of her in my head.
After a few moments of silence, the words 6 months later pop up on screen.
Wait.
An area that was shown at the beginning of the movie shows up on screen, along with the 4 main girls.
You're kidding, right?
Huh?
Long time no see.
The girl jumps in surprised joy and runs to hug him, to which the screen fades to black and the credits start playing. Hallie, on the other hand, gets up off the couch, his expression showing unhappiness.
Are you seriously kidding me?
He then starts walking around his living room.
You can't just put 6 months later, up out of nowhere, and not explain anything that happened in that time.
He then places his head in both his hands and stops in place. It's okay, Hallie. I understand what you're saying, and I know what they did wrong there.
You do?
I give him a confirming nod and a slight smile. When doing a time skip like that, they got the part down where they said what time it was. What's also important is to explain what happened during the in-between, even if it's a brief summary. If you can do that, then you can skip as much time as you want. That's my writing tip of the day. I was hoping that would at least make him smile a bit. Looks like the movie didn't cheer him up either. If anything, it may have done the opposite. Now he's gone from standing in place to sitting on his couch. His arms seem motionless as he stares at the floor. As I'm looking around the house for anything that he and I could possibly do to cheer him up, I'm noticing it's a little more silent than usual. Taking a moment to look out his window, it's dark outside, but it's stopped raining. You know what? This might just work. Taking the TV remote and turning off the TV, I give Hallie my full attention. Hey, Hallie, it's finally stopped raining. Why don't we go outside for a bit? Some fresh air might do some good for the both of us. He looks over to me, almost unsure what to say. He's probably lost in thought.
But it's wet outside.
Do you have a spare blanket we could lay down on?
I do.
With my smile slowly returning, I carefully take his hand to help him off the couch. Once he's up, he slowly walks over to a different part of his house and pulls out a giant blanket for the two of us.